Good news, Congress is passing a brand new bill this week. Lawmakers have announced a new plan that will provide hundreds of thousands of Americans with up to $630 in extra financial aid. Now, there are a few requirements in order to be eligible for this new stimulus money. If you want to claim the stimulus check, then be sure to watch until the end of the video. So here is some big news. Hundreds of thousands of families in Pennsylvania could receive the $630 in state child tax care credits after Governor Tom Wolf revealed the details of the Child Independent Care Enhancement Program. As inflation continues on the rise, so does food and gas and other primary expenses for families all over the state. The Pennsylvania plan will help those working families who pay for daycare and are already qualifying for the federal program as well. They'll be able to claim this credit under 2023 tax filing. To be eligible, a household must earn below the $43,000 threshold, so they can get a $350 payment for a child or $630 for one if they have two or more children. The budget was approved earlier this month by the Pennsylvania Senate. Over 200,000 families will see the benefit of the Child Tax Credit Program. In a release, the governor said that cost should never be a barrier for parents looking for an educational, safe, supportive, and fun environment for their children while they work at each day. Now the IRS gets another shot at long-term investments in its taxpayer services. The budget reconciliation package announced this week by Chuck Schumer and Manchin will give the IRS $80 billion over the next 10 years. Schumer said on Wednesday that he expects the Senate to vote on the budget reconciliation bill next week, and the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act would help shrink a growing tax gap between what taxpayers owe and what the agency collects. IRS Commissioner Chuck Reddick told Congress last year a tax gap may be as high as $1 trillion a year, and the package gives the Postal Service $3 billion in funding for the EV vehicles and charging infrastructure. The Biden administration and Democrats first included these spending proposals in the Build Back Better Act, but Manchin eventually rejected the deal early this year. His role in drafting a similar, less expensive package improves his chances of passing the Senate. President Biden said today that the bill has a lot of similarities compared to the Build Back Better Act. Biden stated, "It's not all of it, but we're moved in a long way. With this legislation, we're facing up to some of our biggest problems, and we're taking a giant step forward as a nation." The IRS will have until September 30th, 2031 to spend the money. The IRS will receive $45 billion towards its enforcement operations, and $25 billion will go toward operation support. Another $4.75 billion will go towards a 6-year modernization effort. Once the spending bill passes, the IRS will have access to the multi-year funds. It says that we are needed to make more progress on modernization goals. More than $3 billion will go toward taxpayer services. And the bill will give the IRS $15 million to prepare for and deliver to Congress a report on the cost of developing and running a free direct e-file tax return system.
Democrats also want a huge new tax hike on American natural gas. Natural gas is the single largest source of electricity generation for our entire country. A plurality of all the power in America comes from, you guessed it, natural gas. It's also how countless families heat their homes. And it's the linchpin of our domestic energy independence and our ability to export to our allies in Europe. But the Green New Deal Democrats are coming straight after American natural gas with huge new tax hikes. The result will be higher electricity bills, higher heating costs, less exporting to our European allies, just as Putin is trying to cut them off, and 90,000 workers in the oil and gas industry, listen to this, out of work. Eliminating 90,000 workers in the oil and gas industry in the process. Democrats' tax hikes on American energy don't stop there. With gas prices still sky high, our colleagues are also proposing to resurrect a defunct tax that would take direct aim at American oil refining. And they want it pegged to inflation. So the tax hike will automatically climb up and up exactly when the country can least afford it. So on top of all this, the Democrats also want to pour new funding into the IRS so they can more easily come after small businesses. IRS agents get new cars, new computers. Small businesses, they get more audits. Add it all up, these tax hikes and others, and Democrats want to drop an anvil on our economy at the worst possible time. The nonpartisan Joint Committee on Taxation has demonstrated the Democrats' plan would shatter President Biden's promise not to raise taxes on households earning less.
Thank you for yielding, Mr. Chairman. This bill once again demonstrates the long and proud tradition of a bipartisan work by the Tactical Air and Land Forces Subcommittee. Our members have shared the great responsibility to keep American land and Air Force the best in the world. I especially want to recognize Ranking Member Mrs. Hartzler for her contributions to this bipartisan bill. Many of us know that this will be her final defense authorization bill in this chamber, and I want to thank her for her hard work. Her efforts have made America stronger. Mr. Speaker, this bill supports the investment of resources necessary to equip and modernize our military while continuing that necessary oversight to ensure responsible execution and accountability for Department of Defense programs. The bill includes aggressive oversight of strike fighter aircraft programs, including the most expensive, the F-35. Particular attention to and management of risk associated with the department's manned and unmanned ISR systems, continued oversight of the Army and Marine Corps modernization strategies, and of particular importance to me, Mr.
Madam President.
The Majority Leader.
No. Madam President, we approach the culmination of one of the most productive stretches in recent Senate memory. It began almost 2 months ago, when in the wake of unimaginable bloodshed in Buffalo and Uvalde, the Senate came together and passed the first gun safety law in nearly 30 years. A few weeks later, in the face of the damaging semiconductor shortage, the Senate approved the largest investment in American manufacturing and scientific research in decades. This week, we finally told American veterans with cancer, lung disease, and other terrible ailments that their wait for their benefits was over by passing the PACT Act. And a few days ago, as Russian aggression towards Ukraine continues, we swiftly approved the accession of Sweden and Finland to the NATO alliance, greatly strengthened that alliance in the face of Russian aggression. Gun safety, chips, veterans, NATO, all of this we got done in under 6 weeks, and now we have one more